the biggest advantage, I think, for the 49ers going into this is Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah. Yep.
He has been awful. And, as much as, I complain about Kyle Shanahan, understand when I complain about Kyle Shanahan, it's not because I think he's an F coach, right? I just don't think he's an A plus right now. I think there's things he's lacking. But Nathaniel Hackett has been pretty bad. He's the Green Bay offensive coordinator. It's his first year as a head coach for the Denver Broncos. And every game, well, there's only been 2, but out of both games, he's already had 4 delay of game penalties because of getting play calls in. And if you watch the first one against the Seahawks, he went for like a 64-yard field goal. You just paid you paid $250 million for Russell Wilson. And they just let the clock run out. They had like 40 seconds and like a timeout or 2. They let the clock run all the way down and went for a 64-yard field goal instead of saving their time and letting Russell Wilson try to pick up 4th and 4. And now after the game, he's like, I totally regret that decision. We should have went for it. And then the next game, his last game, same stuff. He's not a good decision maker. So as much as I criticize Kyle Shanahan, Nathaniel Hackett is a better coach, or he's a better coach than Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett looking like easily the worst coach in the league right now. And not just from like in-game decisions, but also just his offense looks terrible. They scored 16 points in each of the first 2 games. So they got to crack 20 for the first time. Their defense is really good, though. Both the Niners and the Broncos have given up 26 points this year. Now, the Niners gave up 7 points on special teams. So maybe the Niners have a better defense, but this defense is really good too. And what's interesting is they have – I don't know if Patrick Surtain's going to play. Is he playing?
I don't think they've announced whether he's playing or not, but he's like on the day-to-day right now.
Oh, he's questionable? Yeah. So if he plays, I mean, they have really, really good corners. Debo might have to play running back. Ayuk might not have a great game. It might be Kittle or bust. And I don't know, maybe bad boy Jimmy has a bad game. I don't know. So this seems like a game where the defense has to be not only elite, but disciplined, because they always lose to quarterbacks who they let out of the pocket. Justin Fields. Keep him in the pocket. He's 34 years old. Don't let him look like 26-year-old Russ. If they do that, they should win this game.
It's going to be close. My prediction, it's going to be close. It's going to be a defensive game, I would imagine. I think Kittle, like you said, he's going to have a big day. It's Jimmy Garoppolo, and if they have a weakness covering, it's going to be their linebackers covering George Kittle. But one thing that's overlooked is that Javonte Williams is 5.4 yards per carry, and Melvin Gordon, who is 4.8 yards per carry, and they both have the same amount of touches. So they got a two-man team of good running backs. And, the 49ers do have a good run defense, but from a running back perspective, not including Debo or Elijah Mitchell, who's not playing, their running backs are doing better than Jeff Wilson Jr. So
think about it this way. They're not going to beat themselves. Like, I don't know how explosive their offense is going to be, but they're going to run the ball, and Russell Wilson's a Hall of Fame quarterback, in my opinion. So they're not going to beat themselves. They may not score a lot of points, but if the Niners offense stumbles all over itself and commits a bunch of turnovers, they'll lose, because the Niners have shown they can beat themselves. And I don't think I guess Denver did. But I don't. So Hackett could beat himself, but Russ won't. So I don't know. Jimmy better be careful.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. This is one of those games. Honestly, I don't really know. I think the Niners overall are definitely the better team, I would say. But Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. He hasn't had a good start to this season, but I just have a feeling at some point he's going to be Russell Wilson, and he loves to do it against the 49ers. So that's definitely a concern. But I guess Hackett is probably the only thing I'm thinking, okay, well, Nathaniel Hackett's going to screw it up somehow.
Also, it doesn't sound like Jerry Jeudy's going to play. So I really think, look, I'm picking the Niners to win 23-13. I think the defense is going to hold a bad offense down. Or not a bad offense, but an offense that hasn't gotten off to a good start. And then all the offense has to do is score more than that, 14 points. I think they'll get to 23. So it'll be, that's what I'm expecting.
That sounds about right. I think that would be my prediction, but I think it's definitely going to be close. I don't think it's going to be exploding offenses on either side.
I want to see if the Niners finish, because I feel like they've played really well in the first half, the last 2 weeks, and in the second half kind of falling apart. Not falling apart, but the play has taken a step down. On offense, they did nothing in the second half last week. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
And it's going to
isn't
be
that
the altitude. They're going to get tired. So they're in better shape than the last 2 weeks. But I'm curious, like, can they play a full game? Because Russell Wilson will.
isn't that kind of what Kyle Shanahan's history is though? Like Kyle Shanahan lets off the gas. If
Yeah.
he gets like a 10-point lead,
Yeah.
he's like, okay, let's just play good
Let's
defense and
run
run
the
the
ball.
clock out.
Let's
Yeah.
eat the clock. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Instead, now if you see the trend around the NFL, they're not doing that.
No.
They're pushing more. I got a 10-point lead. Let's go for 17. Let's go for 24. Let's keep pushing it on him. And Kyle's one of the only coaches you see still not doing that.
I mean, all the rules benefit passing. The league wants you to pass. Fans want you to pass. They've enabled you to pass. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch the wide receivers, really. Kyle wants to run. None of the rules favor running. Running backs get hurt. All of his running backs get hurt. And now he's using quarterbacks and wide receivers to be running backs too. And he thinks that's zigging while everyone is zagging. Like, okay, but there's a consequence, dude. Like, you're 6 and you're going to use the injury excuse. At a certain point, everyone's going to realize that you're the common denominator here. I'm just saying. So
running the ball like Kyle Shanahan runs it isn't new wave, right? It's not futuristic. That's 1950s, 1960s football.
And there's a reason that no other team is this one-dimensional, that is this committed to just running the ball. I mean, Philly runs the ball, but they also let Jalen Hurts throw it downfield. Kyle looks like he's going to, shake Jimmy if he throws it downfield. Like, what did I tell you to do?
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Michael Carroll says, if you could trade Kyle for the Cookie Monster, would you? Nah, I always thought the Cookie Monster was kind of overrated. Like, cookies are good, but you don't have to dedicate your life to cookies.